Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I use my newest stencil called Video Game, Style 1 and 2, with texture paste to make some really cool, magical looking mixed media tags. So for this, you're going to need a stencil, hopefully mine. You can get that at pmartstudio.com. You're going to need some texture paste. This is from Liquitex. And you're going to need a palette knife or two, depending. So what I like to do is I like to take the texture paste and stir it up a little bit, make sure it's nice and smooth, and then I get a nice glop of it on the back of the palette knife. And that way you don't have to keep scraping over and over too much on your tag. So I'm going to place my stencil down, and you really don't need to tape it down as long as you have a nice flat surface. You can just hold it in place. And I just start at the top, and then I work my way down slowly and firmly, but not too hard. You don't want to spread it out too thin because you want that lift from the texture paste, because that's what's going to create a really dynamic, awesome card. So, or tag, as we're doing. So yeah, I'm doing a couple of strokes up and down, but it's very, very gentle. And then you gently lift off the stencil, and then you have it. Really cool, instant design on your mixed media tag. That's it. I'm just cleaning up the edges a little bit, and you want to make sure those dry 100% before you do anything else with them. I like to leave mine overnight to make sure they're completely dry all the way through. Another important thing when using texture paste or any sort of medium like this with your Yupo stencils, which is what these are made out of, these are 74-pound Yupo paper, you want to wash off the texture paste when you're done. You don't want to let it dry on the stencil because then it will stay on there permanently and it will ruin the stencil. So either wash your stencils immediately, or if you are doing a long session or something in the studio, have a bucket of water next to you, or some container, and then you can just drop the stencil in there and let the water pull that texture paste off, because you definitely don't want it to dry on there. That would ruin your stencil and you don't want that. So I think for today, I am going to create 4 really cool tags, mixed media tags, and I'm going to use different acrylic inks, different colors of acrylic inks. I'm going to use water, and I'm going to use some spray dyes. And so check it out. I'll let you enjoy the rest of this process here, and then on to the fun of decorating. All right, so now these are nice and dry, so we get to play with them. I let these dry overnight just to make sure that it's dry all the way through. Sometimes you can feel it and it's like dry and crusty on the outside, but it's really kind of soft. And that's where you run into problems when you start playing with it. So just let it dry completely. And I pulled out some acrylic inks. I thought we could play with those, a few different colors. So, and I've got a spray bottle of water because these are all water soluble. So let's have some fun. Let's start with this green here. This is a nice bright fluorescent green. These are by Mart, and this particular color is bright green. How about some of this? This is bright blue. This is Amsterdam acrylic ink. Brilliant blue. Now, certainly you can just like move it about like this, brush it if you want. I want to try and keep it more, flowy. So I'm spray water on it. And I have a bed of tissue paper here. So it soaks up anything that comes out, and then I've got tissue, painty tissue for something else. So see, isn't that cool? All right, I'm gonna let that one dry for a bit. I also have my heat gun, so you could definitely use your heat gun on these. But let's just let that hang out on its own over there. And then what's the next one here? I also pulled out this teal. Is this teal? Yes. What do we do? Just not picking anything up. Is my scooper upper broken? I think this thing it's not sucking up the it's supposed to. Is it clogged? I have a pipette here, so let me use that. Not that much, Eddie. Okay, get back in there. See, there's a lot in there. I'll have to check that thing out later. And how about some of this violet? These are just fun tags that are fun to play with because they've got the texture and all that good stuff. All right. Look at those colors explode. And you could leave it like this if you want. I'm going to take the heat gun on the lower setting, and you can kind of like, you see, blow it around. Gonna let that soak in, get all pretty. See, they don't take that long to dry because of the acrylic. But we're gonna leave that one there. Move you over here. What do we have here? What's the next? How about this one? This is a turquoise blue. Let me shake it up well. What if we do this? Let's first put water on it. Okay. And that's another reason I let these dry completely, so that the paste, so that the texture paste is nice and solid. So when I do add the water, nothing funky happens. Ooh, look at that. See how that just bloomed out, spread out, got really cool. If we do some of this, this is cad yellow. I thought I had another yellow too, or not. I don't know. I don't know where you went. Are you over here? No. Okay. Well, that's cool. Oh, I'll shake that up. Lovely. Get a little bit more water on there. Okay. I don't want to mess with them too much, so the colors kind of, they don't mix too much. So like, look at that one. Look how intense that is. Intenso, and the tissue is going to be really cool once that dries. All right, so Just gonna scoop some of this up here so I don't completely saturate the back. Let's do a darker one. Let's use some of this. Now this one is Liquitex Transparent Burnt Umber. Again, I'm going to give that one a bit of a spritz. You see how great that is? All right, now, close. I don't want you to spill. Let's try some orange. All right, take it easy, Eddie. Take it easy. You get excited using these. These are fun. Okay. Nice. You know what? Maybe try this green. This, I believe, is a sap green. Oh, and it's a broken one. Yeah, I forgot this one's broken. I gotta see. Even the bottom's taped up. Oh, I got it like that. It came in the package broken, and really not one to make a fuss about just one little thing. So, you know, you make it work, right? Now it's just inky fingers. Okay, so this one here, I'm gonna hit that a little bit more water and come in with some purple here. And hopefully it won't mix too much with the green. So I'm not going to move it about too much. I just don't want to create mud. Maybe drain some of that off there. Not too bad. Interesting. That one's looking really cool, very fall-like. Now what you can also do is take paper towel and come in if you want to lift some color up or something. You can definitely do that. You see how that works? Take some of this. Just lightly tap it. And that way you get different levels of intensity. Very cool. All right, I'm going to dry these and then I'll be back. My tags are all dry now. And I kind of like this one the way it is. So I'm going to leave this one over dark. Now this one might could use something. I don't know. So this is my maybe. But these definitely I want to definitely go in with some more stuff. So let's play around here. I found my yellow ochre. It was hiding. It was with some other paints trying to act like one of the big boys. I'm going to do this one. A little water. Do a little ochre. Trying to get these spots that I missed previously. Okay, I'll let that hang out for a second. And then maybe over here. What can we do here? Let's start with some of this blue. This is the turquoise. Kind of, again, trying to hit some of these spots that I may have missed earlier or that I did. Oh, and something I I mean, I kind of knew, but also thought I'd tell you is that when I was using my heat gun to dry these, um, I like to alternate between, drying on the front and the back, and it keeps them a little straighter as they're drying. Um, and if they still have a little bit of curve, I just put them under, something slightly heavy, not too heavy. You don't want to crush your fine work. Maybe we'll come in with some more purple. Or I have some sprays here. So I have sprays here too that I can come in with. I've got this purple here. This is the crushed grape, or this is here, rose quartz. There's the other one. No, I don't want that one. This one is laid back lilac. One of those three will be good on there. This is a furry fuchsia, funky fuchsia. One of those. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see exactly, but yeah, that's what that is. Let's see. I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards this one here, the darker of the three, the more purpley. Straight there. Yeah, this one is a spray, so it goes everywhere. I should have moved that one, but that might actually be kind of interesting. You see how that sprayed off into the yellow ochre? So I'm not going to touch it. Just leave it, let it do its thing, and see what happens. Here we go. See, it's soaking into that paste there, because the paste will take in the color and stuff. So like, look at here on this one. You can see it's really saturated in there. And there's some bits that are still a little white, but I kind of like that contrast in here. So over here, I don't know. I'm missing something and I can't figure out exactly what it is. Maybe a little bit more purple here, but maybe this other purple. I'm going to do it with just that. I don't want to overpower. There we go. It's nice purple. Soak up some of this blue. There we go. We'll pull back some of this stuff here so it shows the detail better. See what I mean? Over here, we need a little bit more love, and I think for that, I'm just going to grab a little brush here and kind of just scooch things around. I know some people are like, why are you being so fussy? Because I can. Oh, look at that combo. That's nice. All right. Beautiful. All right, let me give that a few. Back over here. I'm kind of digging this. I think maybe just add a little bit more, like, kind of blue. I think that'll work for me. Let's do this blue here. I think that's the one we used on here. This is the brilliant blue. Give a little bit more spritz. And I'm going to do it this way now. I'm going to see if I can drop it at an angle here. Kind of just where I want it to go. It's all mixing up. Get some of that off. Not too much. Bangers. Maybe lift some of that off. I don't want too much of that. All right, let me just move these, swap these, because I have some sparkly goodness that I want to spray onto these. And this is, it's almost running out. This is a Imagine Sheer Shimmer Craft Spray in gold. Use it sparingly, but it's wonderful. Okay. Give this one a good spritz. You get in there, buddy. Get you some too. Let's have more than enough. I'll try some of this rose. This one here. This is the rose quartz. It's almost out, so maybe if I hold it perpendicular. There we go. Go in there. Hit it with a little water, because sometimes, because these dilutions ones, they do fun things when you spray them with water. And let's get some cool stuff going on. You know what else I do have? I finally dug this out of my watercolor box. Is the gold watercolor. It's from Fine Tech. So maybe we'll use some of that. And I need a watercolor brush. I just had them. I'll get a little more gold in there. This is a nice gold. Yeah, it's got a little more intensity. Maybe go into some of these. A little gold here and there. This is fun. It's like at the moment, it's like really gray outside, foggy, rainy. So this is the perfect stay indoor activity. Cool. A little more water on there. Now this one still has wet areas, so I'm gonna try and drop in some color there, and that way when it dries, hopefully it kind of blends in and gets really cool looking. Get a little bit in here. Come on. Here we go. Lovely. Those are fun. All right, so let's bring in some gold to this one. This one's looking a lot better. Maybe we do a little flicking on this one. There we go. Gold spatters. That's very good. this guy here. Get him some gold too. Just, a few areas here and there. Doesn't have to be all over. Come on, right in there we go. There we are. Very kind of under the sea kind of vibe there. All right, cool. I'll be back once these are all dry. All right, so it's time to decorate these. So I've got my tags are nice and dry. I picked out some sari ribbon, and I even got some little charms that I put in it, or put on there. And the little string there, that's a piece of hemp string. How cute is that? So what I did, so let me get these onto some hemp string here. This is a butterfly. Obviously that was a jack-o'-lantern. All right, I think I can do this, Eddie. You can do it. Come on. I always have trouble knotting things. All right, so the butterfly. What if we did the butterfly here? And then the seahorse, I think, on this one for sure. For sure. So just so you could see it better. Little seahorse there. And then this is I guess it's a sunflower. Put that on here. Sort of like a sunshine / sunflower. All right, now for some sari ribbon, and we are good to go. So I got this lovely piece here. So I do is I fold it on the end. I'm sure a lot of you know how to do this, but for those of you who don't, put the folded end through the hole in the top of the tag, and then I take my charm, charm on a string. If I could get that open, here we go. Put it right over this part here, these two ends. You're not supposed to do that. It didn't happen before when the camera was off. Okay, I'll just lay it down. Maybe that'd be better. So I'm trying to do it in midair. And then I'll just, you run your charm over this. Right, and then you tuck in those two ends through the loop that you pulled through. Here we go. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. That'll make a great little gift, right? It's that one. And then for this one, yes, I'm doing this yellow one for here. So I was ready. Like I prepped everything so I didn't look like a chicken with my head cut off trying to figure out what I wanted. Just makes it easier for all of us when I'm prepared. All right, thread this over. Come on. Here we are. I can adjust this. I want the knotted piece on the top. There we go. Lovely. Hide that. Oh, that's okay. No biggie. But look at that. How cute is that? And for the last one. Very nice. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you make some of your own mixed media tags with texture paste. I think I'm calling these magical tags. They just seem magical to me. Maybe it's just all that gold paint. But yeah, I think once you added the charms, they're so much fun. Easy to do. A good excuse to get messy and covered in ink. Why not? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye, everyone.